Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine combat veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
This freedom is anything but free. What we have here depends on those who will fight for what they believe. When we stand together, there's nothing that we can't achieve. This nation of people standing as one in the name of liberty.
All right, folks, good evening. Welcome to the final episode of America Off the Rails this week. Yes, it's been a short week because of the holiday, and then there were some issues with the internet getting upgraded in the studio, etc. And we're later than usual tonight because for some reason the changeover took a little bit longer. I think it's because I'm spending too much time feeding the trolls on Facebook and Twitter. But anyway, we are live right now. We are coming to you from KLRNradio.com, where we are typically on every Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern on America Off the Rails, one of the flagship shows of KLRN Radio, and one of the shows that started everything for the Spark Radio Network. Contrary to popular belief, the initial show that launched everything was actually Finding Common Ground. America Off the Rails came shortly thereafter because after arguing with a leftist 2 to 3 times a week, I decided I needed an hour to vent. So America Off the Rails was born. Sadly, for right now, Finding Common Ground is on hiatus. However, we are planning on hopefully finding a way to bring it back in the future. Maybe with some younger counterparts to take over and just keep it running, because it was actually a really fun show to do. And I like the fact of trying to bring some balance back. But, you know, the thing about it is, it's kind of hard to find balance lately because nobody wants to seriously sit down and talk about anything. We all just want to stick to our guns. I'm going to start by talking about something that is not the main topic of the show tonight. For tonight, we're going to be spending most of the night talking about collusion and whether there was any. I have some interesting audio that I want you guys to hear. Mark Sununu, former Chief of White House Chief of Staff and Governor, you may remember a while back, was actually on America Off the Rails. He interviewed about his book, The Quiet Man. Well, we have some audio that we'll be playing later in the show where he basically rips a CNN anchor apart and honestly left me kind of speechless. Because he seemed like such a nice man when he was on the show, but you get him riled, and I guess you better watch out because he kind of put her in her place. I will be playing that later. We need to get the first break out of the way, so we might as well start working on doing that now, because, you know, we always got to take one right after the show starts, it seems like. But this is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We've got plenty more to talk about. We're going to start out by talking about this whole Paris climate change thing and why I think it's a great idea that we are getting out of the middle of it. And we'll talk about that right here when we get back on America Off the Rails. Don't go away.
These are the times
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Alright folks, we are back. We are live right now on KLRN Radio. I want to give a quick shout out to the affiliates. We have AMFM247.com, where the show can be heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We have the Lanterns Radio Network, where the show can be heard every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. And actually we have multiple shows over there. At some point I'm actually going to have to map out all of the times that everything's on and actually kind of start promoting that a little more, because they're running a lot of the content that we do over there now. We also, hang on, I'm getting a bit of feedback in my headset, and I have to fix it because it's driving me crazy. There we go. All right, all better now. Wait, maybe not. I guess maybe because I'm a little crazy anyway, but that's beside the point. All right, so anyway, and then, of course, where we are now, Red Nation Rising Radio Liberty Channel every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern, and of course KLRNradio.com, where the show is live every day at 11 p.m. Eastern on, well, Monday through Thursday anyway. You can find me live every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes twice a day, right here on KLRN Radio, so make sure you're checking up on all of those things. Also, if you'd like following along on the podcast, you're welcome to do that by following along with Spritter. I almost said Spreaker and Twitter at the same time, so I came out Spritter. My apologies. You can follow along on Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, FM Player, Google Play Music, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music. I don't think I've said that one yet. And I think I said iHeart already. Anyway, sorry. For those of you who may not be following along with the home game, I have sworn off caffeine almost entirely. I drink about 2.5 cups of coffee a day, and occasionally, still every once in a while, I will have a soda, only because I can't really do cold turkey. But this is coming from a guy who used to do about 2 thermoses of coffee a day, usually 2 to 3 energy drinks spaced out throughout a day, and about 3 or 4 sodas. So if I seem a little scatterbrained or possibly cranky, there's probably because there's too much blood in my caffeine stream, and it's kind of late at night, and I still do radio pretty late at night. There's a reason I used to mainline caffeine. It was because I never sleep. But anyway, back to the show itself. So we have a lot of stuff to go on that we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to go ahead and start with the whole climate change thing, because everybody's having a meltdown over climate change. Because, oh my God, we've pulled out of the Paris Accords and the world's going to end. But why is he leaving it? Because it's a non-binding agreement anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the world's going to end because we've left it. Look, I mean, at this point, the liberal tiers are liable to do what they've been afraid is going to happen this whole time. Because, their whole argument is, climate's changing, ice caps are going to melt, sea levels are going to rise. All these liberal tiers are probably going to raise the sea levels anyway. So why are just dry it up, Nancy. It's going to be okay, I promise. A bunch of snowflakes. I mean, seriously. Come on, let's think about this logically for a second. Even if this is a non-binding agreement, and I'm sorry, I disagree with that. It may be non-binding to everybody else, but they would have expected us to follow through. And I'm sorry, by definition, an agreement between countries is still considered a treaty. Treaties, by definition, must be ratified by the Senate. If you don't like my logic in that, then feel free to take a flying leap somewhere, because I'm not changing my mind just because you disagree with the fact that, well, it's an agreement, it's not a treaty. By definition, an agreement between countries is a treaty. Therefore, treaties must be ratified by the Senate. Constitutionally, that means they must receive a 3/4 vote to become valid. This didn't happen that way. So for all of you tree-hugging hippie lunatics out there that can't sleep at night now because we're not letting ourselves get raked over the coals to pay for this massive redistribution of wealth, yes, I said it, massive redistribution of wealth, then please, do me a favor, petition your senators to pass the treaty, and if we get stuck with it, then I'll have to deal with it. But until it gets ratified by the Senate, I don't want to hear your whining because President Trump undid an executive order by Barack Obama when that's exactly what he said he was going to do if he got elected anyway. It's honestly one of the only things that he said during his election cycle that I actually was happy to hear him say. I'm even more happy to see him doing them. There are a few things that he's done that I haven't liked, like the adding of a letter to the ACA and saying it's all fixed now and all better, and yay, slap a Band-Aid on it and move on. The fact that he has not done what he said he was going to do about the Israeli embassy, I have a problem with that. But, you know, there's not much we can do about, I'm sorry, not the embassy, the Capitol. I think I said that wrong on the last show, too. See, remember, this is me, the guy with no caffeine. So anyway, but the simple fact of the matter is the left is completely bipolar in this situation, because in one instance they're saying, well, it doesn't matter because it's a non-binding agreement and we shouldn't have left it because it was stupid that we left it, but the world's going to end now because we left it. How is the world going to end if it's a non-binding agreement? I'm confused. Now, the other question about this, because I've seen all the world leaders tweeting out, we're deeply saddened and disappointed because the United States government has decided to withdraw from the Paris Accords. Well, I'm sorry. I'm deeply disappointed that you wanted us to pay for a third of this mess. Because we are no longer the chief polluters of the world. I get it. At some point we were, but we're not now. So maybe other people that are now polluting more than us should start paying more to clean up their own messes than we do. Is that so much to ask? Look, nobody that is a conservative is saying that we should not take better care of the planet. But what we are saying is that liberals have started using everything they can as a redistribution scheme. What's even worse is the ACLU seems to agree with my take on it, because when they had found out that I almost said Barack Obama, that Donald Trump had removed us from the Paris Accords, they tweeted out, this is not an exact quote, that by removing us from the Paris Accords, we were going to be placing an unjust burden on the poor people of the country. So it only rains in Harlem now? Because we're talking about climate change. We're talking about weather. You know, they have this big fancy word for it now, but what we're actually talking about is weather. You know, W-E-A-T-H-E-R, not W-H-E-T-H-E-R. Because my stance is, I'm wondering whether this thing actually exists or not, because I haven't seen any definitive proof. And if you look at the graphs and the timelines, it really looks like we're talking about a minuscule blip in the history of the planet. And do we really have enough data to decide, oh my God, we as a species are arrogant enough to think that through something that doesn't involve a nuclear weapon, we're going to end the entire planet? Now, I will admit, nuclear holocaust, yeah, we've wiped it out. I think that's where we started getting our hubris from, though, because we figured out that with one fell swoop, we could basically remove ourselves and everything else from the planet for an extended period. So we started looking and going, well, how many other ways are we impacting the planet? And maybe we're not aware. Oh my God, it's getting colder. Oh my God, now we were wrong about it getting colder, but now it's getting warmer. And now it's kind of fluctuating back and forth. So maybe we should just call it climate change. You know, the interesting thing about all of these people that have made millions and 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 millions of dollars peddling climate change, none of them has done anything in their own personal life to espouse the beliefs that they're trying to shove down your throat sideways. You don't believe me? Google Earth Al Gore's house. Dude has like a 5,000 square foot mansion with enough roof space to, like, if he put solar panels on there, he could probably power half of California. Not a single solar power anywhere on his... No, solar power. Solar panel. Not a single solar panel. Wow, try to say that 3 times fast. Not a single solar panel anywhere on his roof. Nowhere. Dude flies around in his jet, all over everywhere, trying to tell you, you need to not buy an SUV. You need to buy a hybrid car. You need to buy one of these little Cracker Jack boxes and remember your place. Remember your place, you peasant. Because I need my jet and I need my mansion, so you have to make up for my waste. And that's what this is. Whether we want to look at it as the rich people and the powerful people trying to be able to keep their lifestyle while making us feel bad about us everyday American people being able to buy the cars that we want and the houses that we want and the things that we want, they do it, but they make you feel bad for doing it. And now we're talking about taking this from an American scale to an international scale. And thereby, we're basically taking our money, throwing it to them and saying, you know better what to do with it than we do, so please help us fix our mess. I'm over that. I'm done with it. It makes no sense to do things that way. And I am completely done. I'm done. I'm no longer going to listen to other countries telling us that we need to clean up our messes when we weren't the ones that when we housed the Olympics not too long ago, we had to put fans out, giant fans, to blow the pollution out of camera range. We'll talk more about this when we come back. Actually, we'll probably change over to the pollution topic when we come back. This is America Off the Rails. Don't go away.
These are the times that we'll try. They'll try me so.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
All right, so we don't have quite enough time for the audio before the bottom of the hour break, so we're going to change over to the collusion topic at this point. But there's something that I didn't have, and this was actually something I was going to talk about last night, and we didn't have a chance to get to it because I kind of went on a bit of a rant about abortion. But there's been a story that has been kind of is kind of a meh story that actually kind of blew everything out of the water as far as this collusion thing. Because, you know, the whole idea of the press is that Trump has been colluding with the Russians this entire time and been working with them to make sure that he got the White House, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So first of all, one quick point. Hillary Clinton sold Russia uranium, not Donald Trump. Barack Obama promised more leniency with Russia during his second term. On camera, not Donald Trump. Now, leaving those two things aside, there's been a story that's come out recently, and everybody on the liberal side of things started licking their chops on, oh, we've got him now. We've got him now. His son-in-law's admitted that he was actually trying to set up a back channel with Russia in December after he was elected. They were trying to set up a single-party communication between the incoming administration and folks in Russia. That's a common practice. Well, actually, we have some audio that we'll be playing after the break that actually outlines just what a common practice that truly is. But it also blows this whole 7-8 month collusion scheme out of the water, because if there was already collusion, why would his son-in-law be working to try to set up direct communication? They wouldn't need it if they were colluding. Now look, and again, I'm coming at this as a non-Trump fan. I support him because he is the president of the United States. He was duly elected, he followed the process, and he won. I didn't vote for him. I didn't want him to be where he is. I still am afraid that at some point he's going to take a hard left turn. But I will support him when he deserves it. I will defend him when he deserves it, just like I would have Barack Obama. But I will call him out when I feel like he doesn't. This is one of the times that I think we've gotten it wrong. I don't think he had any reason to be colluding with the Russians. I think if anybody was colluding with the Russians, it was probably the Clinton campaign, because they'd already sold them uranium. Which is why they're making such a big noise about the fact that the Donald Trump campaign must have colluded with the Russians. But there's a whole other side to this that we'll hopefully have time to get to tonight too. And if not, then we'll go ahead and bring it up on Monday's show. Pardon me. I'm going to go ahead and take the break about a minute early, just so I can work on getting it out of the way. Not only that, it gives me a chance to run and grab something to drink so I'm not coughing in your ear all night. We're going to take a really, really quick break for the bottom of the hour. Well, I say quick, it's going to be about 4 minutes or so. We will be right back, though. This is America Off the Rails. Don't go away.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine combat veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well, we're already into the second half of the show. My oh my, it seems like this one's going by quicker than usual. Of course, it helps that we have lots to talk about. All right, so as promised, before we went to the bottom of the hour break, I told you that we had some audio from former New Hampshire governor and former White House Chief of Staff John Sununu, who's actually been a guest on the America Off the Rails show before. And this was an interview that he did on D and CNN recently. So let's go ahead and get that queued up now. Maybe. Hang on. And of course, things aren't working.
You're asking hypotheticals on hypotheticals.
Well, I'm trying to actually take your temperature. I'm trying to gauge your comfort level with all of this.
My comfort level, the only discomfort I have is with folks in the media trying to create a veniality without having the courage to specifically tell me what the veniality that I should be concerned about is. Well, I have not identified a veniality. Have you?
Well, you should be concerned if there was collusion. And that's what
I don't see any evidence of collusion. Do you?
No. That should end your reporting right there. You should put an exclamation point after your no. Understood.
All right, so he flat out asks her, do you see any evidence of collusion? And she says no. And then when he catches her in it, she starts trying to backpedal. Well, we're in the beginning. No, you've been covering this for months. 7 constant months of did Russia collude with did Russia collude with Trump? Did this happen? Did this happen? Did that happen? There has been nothing that has come out about this yet. Nothing. And everything that you think is going to come out about it, it blows up in your face because the whole argument with his son-in-law basically pulled the pin on your entire plan and blew it all to shreds, because if he was colluding with the Russians already, why would he need a back channel? This is how bipolar the left has become. They cannot face the fact that they lost. They can't. They are willing to destroy the entire republic to make sure this doesn't ever happen again. And if you don't believe me, I've talked about this before. There was an entire meeting in California a few weeks ago. I know this because we were having votes here on our budget, and these things had to be done within a certain amount of time. There was a vote that couldn't happen because here at the local level, in our governors, the state house, on 23rd and Lincoln here in Oklahoma, there were Democrats that were missing from the vote because they were meeting in California. And you know what that meeting was about? It was about finding a way to dissolve the Electoral College. Because they couldn't handle the fact that Hillary Clinton had won the popular vote, but didn't win the presidency. Never mind all of the hook and by crook things they do in the DNC with the superdelegates and this, that, and the other. Because if they were going by the popular vote during the primaries, then Hillary Clinton might not have actually even been their nominee. So it's a grand scheme of do as I say, not as I do. But the really interesting thing about that, and the reason I wanted to bring this up, was because when this broke today, and they started talking about the Paris Accords and all these other things that, and it's not our fault because Hillary Clinton should be president because she won the popular vote, and how Trump is trying to destroy the republic. And now the funny thing is Democrats are now using the word republic. Remember, all through the primaries and the campaign, we were a democracy. Now, we are a version of a democracy, but we're what's called a representative democracy or a republic. That means that we are not governed by basically mob rule. Now, what they're talking about doing by dissolving the Electoral College, that would basically take national elections like elections for the presidency and put them under the purview of mob rule. There was a reason the Founding Fathers didn't want this country governed by mob rule. They had been studying history. They had seen what happened in the Greek cities, which were true democracies, where popular vote ruled the day, and eventually they couldn't govern themselves and they imploded. Now that is an important thing to understand, because that's what they're talking about wanting us to do here. And you'll have the more liberal elite come at you and say, well, it's not truly mob rule, Rick, because we still have the three branches of government, and therefore there will be checks and balances. So it's not really mob rule, no matter how much you try to convince anyone that it is, good sir, because it's not truly mob rule as long as we have the three branches. No, yes, it actually is. Because the thing about getting and doing away with the representative side of things, where there's people that actually vote based on how you vote, then eventually what's going to wind up happening is, well, we've decided we didn't need the Electoral College, so now with technology the way it is today, do we really need House of Representatives? Do we really need senators? Can't we just vote using Twitter? And everybody can just be like, well, we think we should raise taxes, and we think we should make it 95% across the board for everybody so that we can fund the new Walt Disney World, Slitherbond combination water park and trailer park and housing development for people that are underprivileged. So we're gonna put this vote on Twitter, and everybody has to answer by 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Now you laugh and you tell me I'm being dumb, and you laugh and oh, he's being extreme again. No, I'm not, because I want to remind you of something. Years ago, before gay marriage was legalized, before homosexuality was normalized, I told everyone years ago that the day that happened would be the day that people would start coming out and trying to normalize things like bestiality and pedophilia. And those things have happened. So you can make fun of me now. You can tell me that I'm being extreme. But if we start doing away with the representative part of our democracy, eventually all of it will be gone. And we will be governed by the whims of the populace, which is very, very dangerous, because we are very, very fickle people. As a species, we are fickle. We change our minds every 30 seconds. Something's cool 1 second, it's not the next. Something's hip 1 second, it's not the next. Now, the scariest thing about all of this is we're literally talking about putting our future in the hands of people that get their news from Comedy Central. For those of us that are older now, I want you to let the reality of that sink in. And if we do ever get away or do away with the Electoral College, I pray by then that my children are wealthy, they have homes somewhere outside of the country where people are still sane, and I'm no longer breathing. Because it will be a mess, it will be a nightmare, and it will be crazy. But on that note, we've got to take another really, really quick break just to get one out of the way. We'll be back in about 2 minutes or so. This is America Off the Rails. You're listening to us live right now on KLRN Radio. I am so sorry. I'm tripping all over my tongue tonight. We'll be right back. Sheesh.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from the critique of the short story through to line edits on full-length novels. We also offer assistance on generating writers' bios for your websites. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine combat veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
Alright folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, and we've been all over the map tonight. We've been talking about Russian collusion. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Look, jury's still out. All I can tell you for sure is so far the media has been beating this horse for 9 months, and it ain't even made it out the gate yet. I'm sorry, I guess about 7 months, and it ain't even made it out the gate yet. Now, I hear Comey's going to testify, so I know a lot of folks that are anti-Trump are really, really, really happy about that. And again, I was never Trump until the day that he was sworn in, because then it was a foregone conclusion. He's going to be president. There's nothing I can do about it. So rooting for him to fail now is like rooting for the Titanic to hit the iceberg. Doesn't make any sense to me to take that stance. I didn't root for Obama to fail. I actually prayed that he was going to do half of the things that he said he was going to do, because he made himself sound like he was going to be this guy that was going to heal the divide. I mean, look, Trump has been a bull in the China shop the entire time. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want him where he is now. The bull in the China shop is great for one thing. It's great for basically busting things to pieces. But at some point, somebody has to be willing to stop and start putting the pieces back together again. I don't think Trump is going to be that guy. But as a former guest of mine and an author, and now a host of a radio show of his own, Patrick Fernari used to say, because we had these discussions for years. For the last couple of years, I've had this long-running thought process of, is Trump going to be good for the country? Is he going to be bad for the country? Is he going to be somebody I can support? Is he going to be somebody I can not support? Because I am a conservative through and through. And up until March of 2016, I was a Republican through and through. I'm now a registered libertarian. And I'm also now somebody without a party, because I really don't feel like I fit in with the libertarians either. Which is why I've gotten involved with the Federalist Coalition and started looking more at the Federalist Party, because I think both of those two groups, while they are extremely diverse, are groups that are trying to make the country a better place, and one is actually a political party, the other's not. It's a coalition that wants to reclaim the word federalist and make it not such a dirty word anymore. But, I mean, the thing about it is we have to take a long, hard look at where we are. Where we are is a mess. Where we are is insane. We were literally about to take on the brunt of a climate deal and pay like 33 point some odd billion dollars a year to help other people clean up their messes when we're already cleaning up our own. And look, I have on my Facebook page an argument that's been running the entire time because I posted something on my personal Facebook page, which I don't do very often, but I felt like it was something that had to be said. So I'm going to go ahead and read this real quick and then read you the responses from a former co-host we have here, who is now basically stepped down based on the fact that he's actually been elected to a political office. I don't put this kind of stuff on my personal Facebook page much anymore, but this has to be said. The Paris Accord, much like the man-made climate change argument, even if valid, I'm not buying it, has become a redistribution tool of the left. Out of 155 signatory countries, we were footing a third of the tab every year. A third, not to mention the fact that a treaty, and again, by definition, an agreement between countries is a treaty. Like it or not, a treaty must be ratified by the Senate with a 3/4 majority. So if you want us to get shafted so you can sleep at night, then feel free to contact your senators and tell them to ratify the treaty. Just to be clear, though, here is a bit of a timeline concerning the man-made climate change. Now, this is a graph that I actually found, and this is stuff that we've talked about before. I actually have a friend on Twitter who actually has studied this type of stuff, and we've had these conversations on Open Timeline before. But this is actually and I'm not going to go too far into it, but it's the Greenland GISP2 ice core temperatures in the last 10,000 years. And it shows all of these different variations, and it's this whole 10,000 year scale. And then it talks about this little circle at the very end of the graph, and it says the entire Paris Accord is based upon this tiny little section and ignores the rest of these spikes and valleys and coolings and warmings and all of these other things that have happened over the last 10,000 years. My stance is yes, nobody here is saying the climate doesn't change. What we're saying is we have not been gathering enough data for long enough to determine what man's impact on climate change truly is. And before we understand what has happened, before we can understand what has happened and determine what we need to do, if anything, we need to have more data. Because if we start just haphazardly doing these things, because climate change is real and we're all going to die, somebody save the penguins please now, then we're going to have problems. Because we have these fringe groups right now that, because of the deforestation, are talking about making giant CO2 scrubbers and putting them in places. You know, kind of like Star Trek, you know, the universe of Star Trek where the rainforests were cut down. So they built giant machines that worked as the carbon scrubbers. And that's how the atmosphere is now sustained, because there's no more rainforest, so they had to artificially scrub our atmosphere. The problem with all of that is right now we still have a rainforest, and we still have trees, and we still have plants, and we have all of these things that are natural carbon scrubbers. I know scientists will laugh at what I'm about to say, but they breathe in carbon dioxide and they exhale oxygen. Now, I understand that's not exactly what happens, so don't Bill Nye Science Guy me. What I'm saying is, though, they thrive on carbon dioxide, and they give us what we need to thrive. So if we start scrubbing out carbon dioxide on our own because of these minuscule changes, what are we going to start doing to the plant life? That's been my question all along. I'm not saying we shouldn't recycle. I'm not saying that we shouldn't take better care of the planet. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be good stewards. We are commanded to do that in the Bible. What I am saying is that we need to understand, if we have an impact, what our impact has actually been, so that we can take steps to mitigate it without going so far that we wind up being the ones that cause our own extinction. How is that such a hard concept to understand? Not to mention the fact that these same climate change people are the same ones screaming about science for climate change, but they're telling me that gender is a myth. And abortion isn't killing a baby, but climate change is real. So when it comes to science, you understand one part of science. You grasp it. You understand it. You say it's real. When actually, I think it's the religion of the left, and I've said that before. Climate change in a lot of lives has taken the place of faith, because they take it on faith that we are killing the planet, and they have to do something about it, because they have no real proof. They're talking about models predicting weather for 100 years in the future. We can't even get a 5-day forecast right, and these people are worried about 100 years in the future. Let that sink in for just a second. Not to mention the fact that these are the same people that, genders, there's more than, gender is a construct of the patriarchy. Never mind the fact that they're two distinct members of the human species, male and female. Oh, that's not really gender. That's their sex. Their sex isn't their choice because their chromosomes determine their sex. But only they can determine their gender, Rick. Stop being such an old fuddy-duddy. You don't understand how things work anymore. I understand how things work. Your concept of how they work makes my head want to explode. We'll be right back. We got to take a break.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
All right, folks. Well, we're back. We are live. We are just about out of time, so we have enough for about one more segment before we got to get out of here. So I remember a minute ago when I opened, or when I was talking about the analogy of, at this point, it would be like wishing for Trump to fail would be like wishing for the iceberg to hit the Titanic. I just saw a meme on social media that actually it's an even better apt description. So this would be a liberal posting this to their Facebook page. Status update. I really despise our newly elected pilot. I really wish he would crash this plane into the ground. Hashtag not my pilot. That makes about as much sense as praying that Trump is going to fail, because at this point, if he fails, he takes the country with him. Now, the one thing that I'm glad to see that he is doing consistently is he seems to be focusing on jobs. That's something that we need here. We need better, higher paying jobs. Now, I want to talk about one other thing real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. And that this is going to be a bit off topic, but it kind of goes along with what we were just talking about. And that's this whole minimum wage $15 an hour thing. There seems to be a misconception when it comes to minimum wage, because I hear politicians do this all the time. No one can survive on $7.25 an hour, and this is a California politician screaming this. The minimum wage in California isn't $7.25 an hour. Hell, the minimum wage in Arizona isn't $7.25 an hour. It's like $10 or $10.50. That's the point. The minimum wage is just that. It is a baseline. It doesn't mean that everywhere you work, in every single city, in every single state, you're going to get only $7.25, because people realize that in certain economies you have to make a little bit more money to be able to survive. That's why it's called a minimum wage. But I'm sorry, to me, it's still a bad idea. I don't think there should be a minimum wage. And, oh my God, Rick, you're advocating for people to not get paid anything at all. No, I'm not. What I'm advocating for, because one of the things that has happened with a minimum wage is we have had entirely too many stupid people that had no business sense that have managed, because now they follow the government-mandated minimums to run a business, and to do so just barely enough to be able to survive. If we remove the minimum wage, we're going to actually improve the market, because what's going to happen is you're going to have people that want to pay people $2 an hour to go stand in the cash register, and nobody's going to take the job. But then you're going to have people that are going to, $2 an hour didn't work, so let's raise it to $3 and see what happens. Nobody's going to take the job. Let's raise it to $4, see what happens. Nobody's going to take the job. Raise it to $5, see what happens. And so on and so forth. If we actually remove the minimum wage, the businesses that don't deserve to make any money are going to wind up going under anyway. And the ones that actually want to take care of people will be the ones that thrive, because they'll be the only ones left open, because they would be the only ones that could find people to work there. Because minimum wage becomes a double-edged sword. Not only does it become, all I have to do now is legally pay this much, so I can just hire anybody I want, make sure there's minimum requirements there, pay them X amount of dollars, and legally I'm okay. But at the same time, it becomes a double-edged sword, because then you have people with little to no skills, little to no training. They're like, I can't get a job better than minimum wage, so I might as well just go sign up and take this one. And then they hate every second of it, and they're not good at it, and they don't do a good job, and eventually they either stop showing up, or they get fired, and they still have no marketable skills, so they move on to the next fast food restaurant and lather, rinse, repeat, over and over and over again, and nothing ever changes. But if we would get to the point where we didn't have this double-edged sword hanging over our head, and businesses could actually realize that they can pay people what they feel like they're worth, and if it works out, your business is going to thrive. If it doesn't, it's going to die. But it also gives people the idea of, hey, I'm actually making a wage that I feel like I'm worth. So it makes them feel better about coming to work every day. And it also doesn't raise the prices, because it isn't the government mandate. It's amazing how that stuff works. But on that note, folks, we are out. We are officially out of time. We're actually running a little bit long. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We will be back before you know it. But we are going to be live again tomorrow night right here, Friday night, for the Robinson and Wright Show right here on KLR Radio. So make sure you tune in for that. Take care. God bless. I hope you've all had a great week. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Revel in the liberal lunacy and the tears. If you have a coffee cup handy, grab a big scoop of them, drink them in, enjoy them while they last. It's almost Friday. We are out of here, folks. God bless.